and welcome back to my video. So in this video we are going to continue with our job board application using Flutter, and then we are going to be integrating our backend that we created using Express.js and MongoDB. So in this video we are going to be working on displaying vacancies by category, right? By their category, right? As you can see, if I go into the software engineering category, you can see that we are going to load software engineering vacancies, right? If there is no vacancy in this category, we'll just display no vacancies, right? So yeah, so basically that's what we are going to be doing, right? And then if you have not watched this playlist, the job board backend playlist with Express.js and MongoDB, please make sure you watch this playlist before continuing with this Flutter course, right? So without wasting much time, let's dive deep into it and start writing code, right? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to go inside our job categories, right? So if you go to our categories widgets, right? So we want to wrap this column widget. We want to wrap it with the gesture detector, right? So we just want to wrap it with the gesture detector, right? So when the user taps on this column widget, what we simply want to do is we want to redirect to another screen, which we are just going to create a new file here. So the screen is going to be called vacancy category screen. Vacancy by category screen dot that, right? Like this. And then let's make sure it's a stateless widget, right? Alright, so okay, so now that we are done, let's go back inside our categories widget, right? So what we are simply going to do here is we are simply going to make sure that it's going to be, we are going to use navigator class, and then we're going to use the push named, right? And then we want to pass in the route, right? So for the route name, what we are simply going to do is, if you still remember from we used to have these routes here, right? And then we have like the default route, the main screen, right? So what I'm simply going to do is, we don't want to do this. We simply going to create a class. If we go inside our utils folder, let's create another file called the route.dat, right? So let's create a class called routes, right? So in this class, we're going to make sure that it's going to be a static constant, a string, which is going to be string, which are going to name main screen. So this main screen is going to be equal to this this route name here. So let's copy it, and then let's paste it here. All right. Okay, which is going to be main screen, right? Okay. So now we want to check another one, which is going to be the sign-in screen. So let's just copy it here. Then let's just paste it below, right? All right, so let's change this to sign-in screen. Sign-in screen, and then if we go back to our route, we are simply going to copy this route here, and then like we are simply going to paste it. And then also if we go back, we have also the register screen, right? So let's go back inside our route folder. Let's change this to register. So let's paste it here, and then also have our all vacancy screen. All vacancy screen. So let's just grab this route name here, and then let's go back, and then let's change this to all vacancy screen. Right, so now we need to change this. Let's change this to vacancies by category screen, and then let's change the route name to vacancies by category. Screen. Okay, so now that we are done with this, now let's go back inside our main.dat file, right? So inside our main.dat file, what we are simply going to do, right, we are going to change this to routes dot. So let's import the routes class, right, to routes dot main screen, and then we are also going to change this to routes dot sign in screen, and then we are going to change this to routes dot register screen, and then also this to routes dot all vacancies, right? Routes dot all vacancies, and then let's grab this also, let's paste it below, and then we are going to change this to routes dot vacancies by category screen. So now, as you can see, now this is neat. Also, this allows us to, instead of typing the route name here, which are prone to making errors, which can introduce bugs into our code, what we can simply do is we can simply call our routes class, right? Routes dot vacancy by category screen, and then we pass in the arguments, right? So the arguments is going to be data index, right? So now that we are done, so basically what we can simply do here is if we can just reload our emulator, you can see now so I think we made an error, vacancies by category. Dot category. Vacancies by category screen. So let's go back to our main.dat file. Okay, we need to change here to vacancies by category screen, like this, right? So now if I reload our emulator, you can see now, yeah, you can see now we are having, like, now let's start working on our vacancies by category screen, right? So for our vacancies by category screen, what we can simply do is let's go inside our all vacancies screen here, right? All vacancies screen here, and then what we can simply do is let's just copy, or let's just leave it like that, and then let's just copy from this inside the build function, right? So let's just copy this piece of code, and then let's go inside, and then let's just paste it here. All right, so let's just import the error text, and then let's just import the loader right here, and then the vacancy item widget, let's just import it. All right, now what we need to do here is let's just get rid of this, and then the vacancy. So what we need to do here is we need to change it from stateless widget to consumer widget, right? By now we should know that we use consumer widget to consume Riverpod providers, right? For us to be able to consume providers, we need to wrap this with the consumer widget. And then inside our build function, we need to pass in the reference parameter, which will allow us to watch or read providers, right? And then here we are just going to get so if we go inside our vacancy controller right here, what we need inside our vacancy controller, we need get vacancies by category provider, this one. Right, so let's grab it and then let's just paste it there. And then I think it takes in a parameter, so let's just import. It takes in a parameter which is going to be the category ID, right? So for us, what we need here is we need to access that those arguments that we passed in when this argument right here, the arguments inside our data index when you use the navigator.pushName to our vacancy by category screen. So we need to get those arguments. To get it, we just create a variable called category. Then we just use the model route. Then which can be now, and then we just from settings, and then from the arguments, settings, and then arguments, and then as category. Okay, like this. Now let's just make sure that we import the category model. Right. So I think it's supposed to be category model. Yeah, like this. And then here we'll simply pass in the category ID, right? And then we'll just turn it to a string, right? Okay, so now that we're done, now we need to change this from state to just vacancy, right? So since we are not applying pagination here, what we can simply do is let's just get rid of this right there, and then let's also get rid of the refresh indicator, right? Then let's just make sure we just put a return function that's going to return a scaffold, right? And then what we are simply going to do is we are going to pass in the data, and then the index right here, right? And then let's get rid of this item, this linear progress indicator. Let's just get rid of it, right? Okay. So I think we still have one more error. So it's supposed to be data.length, not data.data.length, right? So now that we are done with this, now let's just refresh our application and then let's see if it's working. Everything is working, right? Saying what is this saying? It's not saying that string is not a subtype of index. category ID. So we are getting an error. Let me check what's causing this error. Okay, let's reload. Let's see what's going on. Let's try the other software engineering vacancies, right? Okay, we're also getting the same error, but we're getting the items, right? So I don't know what's causing this. Okay, so let me check what's causing the error. Okay, so now I've found the error. So here, if you go back, we had put in the square brackets and then it was vacancies, right? Then we're getting the vacancies. This was causing me an error. So what you simply need to do is just pass in the decoded JSON data here, and then you just move the curly brackets to the vacancies, right? So now when I load our application, let's just load it, and then you can see it displays in the cache here no vacancies. Software engineering, you can see we have vacancies right there. But what I want to do is I want to display if there are no vacancies. So what I'm simply going to do here is I'm going to create an if statement if data dot is empty, right? So that means that if we don't have any vacancies in the category, what we're simply going to do is we are going to simply return a text that is centered with child. So the text is going to be just no vacancies in this category. No vacancies in this category, right? So now if I refresh the application like this, right, you can see now saying no vacancies in this category, right? It's now displaying no vacancies in this category. So what we can simply do here is so let's just copy this, and then let's change it. I want to paste it inside our column, right? So inside our column, so if there are no vacancies, we want to display this now. If then else, what we simply want to do now is else, that means that there are vacancies, we will just display them, right? Because I don't want this black text here, it doesn't look okay, right? So now let's see. So you can see no vacancies in this category, right? And then you can see now we have the vacancies, right there. Okay, so your task for this, right, your task for this video is I want you to apply pagination to these vacancies by category, right? So I want you to apply pagination. So if you manage to apply pagination, you can just comment in the description below and showing me how you applied pagination, right? Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers. So in the next video, we'll just now work on the vacancy details screen.